Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Well,
I mean,
the Dial
dialysis.
of Dialysis, the Dial of, well, Death, because it's over. Second
over.
weekend, it's over.
Is
And guess
Joe
what comes
older?
out? And guess what comes out next weekend? So this movie is basically dead. Okay, 100% dead. It's box office renewal, and I did this again. Let's go over here. What was its box office for this weekend? 56%. The thing is, though, yes, that's not a huge drop off in reality. It had a 56% drop off. That's not an awful drop off for a movie. I know that's half, but we've seen movies have higher drop offs. Usually it's 60%. It happens. The thing is, though, when it comes to this movie, it had such a weak opening that a 50% drop off is devastating. You didn't have barely anybody come see this movie to begin with. So now you lost half your money right off the bat. Ticket prices are soaring. Nobody's going to see this movie. This movie is dead. There is no returning for this. You're only as good as your last movie. I've been repeating this over and over again, and you got a lot of people coming out here saying, "Hey, look, opening weekend. Guess what? It made the $100 million mark, like every other Indiana Jones did opening weekend." The thing was, when it came to those opening weekends, it was $100 million domestically, not worldwide. Well, now we also got this. And James Mangold came out saying this. James Mangold derides fans as divisive for not liking his deconstruction of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. You blame fans. Oh, yeah, go straight for the fans. How did that work out for you in the beginning? How did that work out when you went after Salty Nerd Podcast Crew? Didn't work out very well, did it? Because that was the first sign that people didn't trust you. You had goodwill, tons of goodwill.
Yeah, it annoys me because he's a talented filmmaker. He's made some great movies. And to me, this showed me that, okay, when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy, under Kathleen Kennedy, he has no spine to make his own art, essentially. I think he was just a good boy to do whatever he was told to do with this film, and blah, 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 blah. If you don't get fired on the Lucasfilm, I just raise an eyebrow, essentially. Oh, so that they're an obedient little child to the studio, essentially. And this is just product, this movie. Just ultimate
100%.
product.
This is just a product. But speaking with Hollywood Reporter, Mangold was asked by Brian Davids, "Life is filled with peaks and valleys, and I appreciate when my fictional heroes such as Indy have their own ups and downs. So why does a segment of the audience seem to want these legacy characters to be infallible? I just can't figure out why anyone would want such little drama." Mangold replied, "Well, there's a point where these characters become symbols more than characters, and so there becomes this anxiety. If you examine the humanity of a hero, you somehow weaken them." He continued, "And honestly, I can't speak for how fans relate and wrestle with these questions in relation to other movies, but certainly in relation to mine, I think your questions almost has my answer built into it. I mean, I think you're in a sense already addressing it. Good drama gives a hero a problem. If a movie is about beautiful hero who is capable of anything and virtually indestructible and is without any personal issues or concerns, then you just have a fashion video with action. I'm a fan of starting a character in one place to go to another." Yeah, it's so
I'm just
so
hearing
bad.
mouth movements here.
The voice you were doing sounds like the bad guy from like Princess Bride.
Inconceivable!
Inconceivable!
Yeah, that's kind of the point, because that's James Mangold. All he's doing here is giving you word soup and word salad, but at the end of the day, the point remains: no, Indiana Jones was not infallible. He was not perfect.
Yeah,
Nobody wants a
he was
perfect
flawed.
character.
He had failures. He had successes. He was never a perfect in any, stretch of the imagination. But that's because what he's trying to build up in his head is he has to build a reason why it failed, and it couldn't be because he's a piece of shit and he made a shitty movie. No, it has to be that, they're what they were expecting. They were expecting this perfect character. He's full of shit. We've never expected Indy to be perfect.
Well, the piece of shit that asked him that question as well, and this guy, I think the guy who was asking it was just being dishonest, because I think what Mangold doesn't realize here, that Lucasfilm has done this type of character for like 5 fucking times in a row. This old, grumpy, divorced, without a son. Like, that's all Harrison Ford plays now, and it's just like, we are fucking tired of this shtick. It's you've done it so many times. It's kind of amusing, to be honest. It's embarrassing. And it's just like, oh, this time we'll get away with the same writing stint. It's just, how about you try to write a happy old person? Oh no, that would be difficult, wouldn't it? So I guess, yeah, don't write that.
But at the same time, he doesn't need to be happy. He just doesn't need to be sad, a drunk, yelling at everybody, just destroyed. He doesn't need to be that. He can be, down on his luck. He could be at the end of his rope. He could be just a little bit more, hey, he's older. He's kind of more tired, grizzled hero. He doesn't really want to go out into the world. He just wants to live a quiet life, and then gets brought back into the world. You could do that. You can say, hey, he's not as strong anymore. He's not this. He's not that. You can have all of that.
Well,
but what
no.
you did was completely destroy the character and make him a whiny little prick.
Yeah, why couldn't they have it? It's an archetype, I know, but have it where he married what's her name? Is it Marion? I think it's Marion. Married her. You have his son, whatever the hell, I can't remember Shia LaBeouf's character's name, something like Dog or Mutt. He's off doing his family thing, and he's dealing with what every guy of that age, well, younger than that, but of that age deals with. The fact that he can't, he's settled down. Now he has his day involves doing barbecues and stuff like that. How do you live this exciting life and then become the stay-at-home husband type thing? He could be struggling with what every guy does when they retire, when they leave some sort of job that has any excitement to it, like the military, whatever. He could be struggling with stuff that guys do every single day, and it would relate to them more. Instead of doing that, they're all like, we're going to make his wife leave him. We're going to kill his kid. We're going to make him miserable and like on the verge of suicide. And then, yeah, they had a perfect way to set it up. Instead of going with that, they decided to do it the other way. Why? Because they need to tear down the dude. They need to tear down the white straight male to build up whatever her name is, that bitch. And yeah, and that's all it was. It was trying to tear down another straight white male character because they can't have anything good in there to the character. It has to be demolished.
Well, on your point as well, you could have, you could have an epic adventure off of that as well. Say he wants just one last ride, one last run, and then you bring in the Dial of Destiny. You bring in that, hey, this made his friend to go insane. You can have this all. You could have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, even though I hate her guts. You can have this all, but do the story right. Like, the thing is, half these stories are done wrong. Your story can be worked with, your dialogue, the settings. You just need to tweak things here or there, and it will work. That's the shocking thing, is like you're not even trying. You get the pieces together, and then instead of putting them together, you end up like throwing them all over the place and creating something crazy out of it. All these decisions, well, most of these decisions could work.
But you could have made something good. You didn't.
Yes, that's how it always comes down to. Like, you could have done something good, but you didn't. You could have take it to Star Wars. You could have used Rey. You could have used Finn. You could have used Poe. They could have been fun, but you didn't. Take it to anything nowadays. Take it to Marvel. Take it to currently DC. Maybe DC's on the upswing. I don't know. We still time to wait. You have you have the parts, but you're not putting them together. You're throwing them all over the place, and then
And
complaining
I'm
that
thinking it'll
nobody's
stick because it has a good name. You know, oh, it's Indiana Jones movie. We don't need to try.
Yeah.
You know,
you're making this painting, okay, and you're just throwing splats at it, and you're like, why is nobody coming around to buy my painting? Because it's shit.
it looks like a piece of
Well, I
shit.
wanted the
yeah.
Mona Lisa. I didn't want poo.
Poo stains.
It just baffles my mind at how badly this is going down.
So put some effort in. We can see in the movie you did not put effort into the writing whatsoever. Put some effort in. That's all we're asking. It's a simple request. We're not toxic or anything like that. We can see that you were really lazy with this. You had no ideas. You just got paid Harrison Ford a big old paycheck, and you just hoped for the best. Really. And I feel sorry for the guys who are like editing it or doing like VFX, because all those guys work hard. But the people that make like the creative decisions and shape the movie storyboard and scripts, they're the real letdown essentially.
No, it's just Lucasfilm as a
doesn't
whole.
matter how pretty your car is if your freaking suspension or your steering is off, a car is useless essentially.
But it's Lucasfilm as a whole. Lucasfilm has continued to do this just over and over and over again. At some point, if you keep smelling shit and you don't know where it's coming from, look under your own boot.